Once, in a quiet village nestled between tall, majestic mountains, there flowed a river so clear and pure that the villagers called it the Silver Stream. It shimmered in the sunlight, a ribbon of liquid light winding its way through the heart of their world. But what made this river truly special was not just its beauty. Legends whispered of something more, a secret known only to a few. The river, it was said, had the power to bestow gifts upon those who treated it with kindness and respect. Our story begins with a young boy named Kofi. He lived with his grandmother on the edge of the village, not far from the riverbank. Kofi was known for his gentle nature, always helping others, especially his elderly grandmother. Every day, he would fetch water from the river, carrying it back in large clay pots to their little home. But unlike most who visited the river, Kofi always took time to speak to the water, thanking it for its coolness and clarity, and even skipping stones across its surface with a smile. One sunny afternoon, as Kofi was filling his pots at the riverbank, he noticed something unusual. A large leaf floated by, carrying a single, perfectly round stone. The stone sparkled like a gem under the sun. Curious, Kofi reached into the water and picked it up. As he held it in his hands, a soft voice whispered in the breeze, "Kindness begets kindness, young one." Startled, Kofi looked around, but there was no one in sight. Only the gentle flow of the river remained, as peaceful as ever. Confused but intrigued, he tucked the stone into his pocket and went on with his chores, wondering about the voice and the strange gift. That night, as he sat by the fire with his grandmother, he took out the stone. To his surprise, it began to glow faintly, casting a warm, golden light across the room. His grandmother gasped. "That's no ordinary stone, my boy," she said, her voice full of awe. "The river has given you a gift." Kofi looked at the stone, his eyes wide. "But why? I've done nothing special." His grandmother smiled. "You show respect to the river every day. You speak to it, care for it, and in return, it has chosen to bless you. The river rewards those who honor it." The next morning, Kofi returned to the river, the stone in his pocket. As he sat on the bank, staring at the shimmering water, he noticed a small fish caught in a tangle of reeds. Without hesitation, he waded into the water and freed the creature, watching as it swam away happily. Once again, the voice whispered in the breeze, "Kindness begets kindness." As the days passed, Kofi continued to help the creatures and people of the village. Each time, the stone grew brighter, and more wondrous things began to happen. His fields, which had once been dry and barren, began to bloom with the richest crops. His grandmother's health improved, her strength returning day by day. Even the village, once struggling with drought, found its wells overflowing with fresh water. Word of Kofi's good fortune spread, and soon others from the village came to the river, hoping for their own blessings. But the river, wise and ancient, did not grant gifts to those who sought them with greed in their hearts. It watched patiently, waiting for acts of true kindness, for only then would its magic flow. One day, a wealthy merchant came to the river, determined to gain its favor. He threw gold coins into the water, demanding that the river grant him riches beyond measure. But the river remained silent, its surface undisturbed by the glittering coins. Frustrated, the merchant began to cut down the trees along the riverbank, thinking he could force the river to give him what he wanted. But as the first tree fell, the sky darkened, and the river began to swell, its once gentle flow turning wild and turbulent. The village watched in horror as the merchant was swept away by the raging waters, never to be seen again. Kofi, standing at the river's edge, knelt down and whispered softly, "I'm sorry, dear river, for the harm done to you. Please forgive us." As if in response, the waters began to calm, the storm clouds parting to reveal the sun once more. The villagers, humbled by what they had witnessed, gathered around Kofi. They realized that the river's true gift was not wealth or power, but the peace and prosperity that came from living in harmony with nature. From that day on, they vowed to treat the river and the land with the respect it deserved. As for Kofi, he continued to visit the river every day, not for gifts, but to offer his gratitude. And though the stone he had received still glowed faintly in his pocket, he understood that the river's greatest gift was the lesson it had taught him, that kindness, respect, and harmony with the world around us are treasures far greater than any gold. And so, the river flowed on, its waters carrying the stories of those who came before, always watching, always waiting to reward the kind-hearted who would honor it with love and respect. The end.